football, Brian Shaner, joining us live. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Oh, absolutely. Wouldn't miss it, man. Anything I can do to help you guys for what you do for football, we're always all in.
I mean, Coach, you guys had a solid team last year. I think grabbed 4 wins as a team, but it's going to be life without some key positions, the seniority filling those key positions. I know quarterback being namely one of them, too. What's the team looking like? What are some big names to watch out for in this Rams program this year?
Yeah, right now, just like everyone else, you're kind of filling it out. We have to find a way to take, fill that quarterback spot for Mark Bunch, who did a great job for us for 2 years. Right now, Tristan Valley's holding down that role. He's doing a real good job for us. And, he's blessed with some skilled guys around him. Mason Miller's having a great camp. Ian Erb, the Rossi brothers, Pemberton. We got some guys out there that are very special and skilled. Then, we can get a little bit big in the backfield with Jacob Russell and Nathan Rohrman if we have to. So those are some of our skill guys on offense that we're really excited about.
We know football, though, is won and lost in the trenches. How much work has your offense and defensive line put in this offseason to get stronger, get bigger, and really be able to push people on the line of scrimmage?
Well, that's where it comes down to, especially in high school football. If you're healthy up front and you got them guys that can push people around, you give yourself a chance to be successful. And having Giovanni Gilbert up front and Ben Collins back, those 2 guys are our anchors. And, Zach Stacy's going to be a 3-year starter for us at center. Jordan Moore is going to be a 2-year starter for us. And we're trying to find that 5th guy to round out our starting line. And the competition's really good there right now. I couldn't name our 5th starter for sure, but we got some guys that are hungry for it. And once we find that 5th guy, I really have good feelings about our offensive line. I think it's going to be steady. And again, Valley has to make them better. He has to get us in right situations, and we just have to execute to take a little bit of pressure off the young guy that we're going to play up there. But again, I like that group. We have some veterans up there. They just got to get it done for us.
What are some key things you look for in players that want to get snaps or increase their snap count, how many they get throughout a season? What are some key things you look into players that can get starts and more snaps?
Effort. They got to show up every day willing to play, whether it's scout team, whether it's special teams. We got to get guys that want to be there, that want to be good teammates, and just give us effort. Show up every day ready to work. Don't be selfish. Do what's best for the team. And again, that's kind of what we've been preaching all summer. It's about our football team. It's about no individuals, because if you have individuals, it turns into a cancer throughout our locker room, and we just can't do that. As a coaching staff and as a football team, we have to be there for the team and do what's best for the team. And again, we preach it every day. Be a great teammate. Show up, give us great effort, get better every day. And whenever your number's called, no matter where it is, in the trenches, as a skill guy, be a great teammate and do it the best of your ability.
You as a coaching staff ask these players to make sacrifices of their time, put in all this hard work. And I think what goes unnoticed by the public is what sacrifices coaches make and what time they put in. Can you kind of put into words on the time that you put in during a season and the sacrifices maybe you make to be a head coach?
It's a lot of time. I think if you ask any coach, no one's in it for the money, because there isn't a whole lot of money in high school football. It's for the love of the game. And the sacrifices we make away from our families is well worth it. My loved ones at home know that when I go to work every day at football, it's a true love. It's an extended family in Mineral Ridge and our team. But there are sacrifices. For an example, I know my daughter's getting ready to leave for Athens here in 2 days. And we chose to have a night practice last night. Instead of staying home at dinner with her, we fired up the lights and we were with our boys last night. And, the entire family was there. It's just one of those things you do. You do it for the love of the game. You do it for these young men, and you teach it. It's a life lesson. And it was taught last night to our boys.
Now, you guys open up with 3 non-conference games, Pie Valley, Orange, and Newton Falls, I believe, too. What's it going to take, and what are some key things you're going to be needing to do to come out of that 3-game stretch non-conference on top?
Well, again, effort. Our boys have to show up each and every game ready to play. They can't look ahead. It's everything we've done has been for Pie Valley. Big physical team. Last year they got us at our place, and all off season, that's what our boys wanted. They wanted that score posted all over the locker room, all over the weight room, and we did it. They want that game really bad. So those other 2, we're going to kind of wait to talk about Orange and Newton Falls. It's all about Pie Valley. We have to be 1-0. We have a very difficult and physical scrimmage scheduled tonight versus Valley. We'll know where we are when we come out of that scrimmage. Coach Hake has a great football team over there, and it's a tough matchup for us because of their athletes and how aggressive they are. But we'll know more about our team and get out of that one hopefully healthy, and then travel up to Pie Valley and do our best to be 1-0.
When you look at this conference, the MVAC Scarlet here, it's a great conference. It's always been a great football conference, a lot of prestigious programs in there. What's it like playing in this conference, and what do you think it would take for Mineral Ridge to come out on top of the MVAC this year?
I think the word's parity. I think the gap's closing a little bit. Springfield's still that top dog. They're still, the ones that you have to chase. They've had a great run, and what a program. And that's kind of what you model yourself after. I think when you look at their longevity and what they've been able to do, that's what we want to be. And for us, I still refer to it as the big three, and now you got to throw the big four. Lowellville with that offense, they're incredible. That quarterback and number 3 at wide receiver, actually the whole supporting cast is really talented. McDonald is McDonald, and reserve is reserve. They've always done it. When they step on the field, they expect to win, and that's something we're trying to do here. We've tried to incorporate that kind of mentality. When we step on the field, we're going to compete against everyone and expect to win.
So going from last season to this season, what are some improvements you want to see from the returners that you have now, and to try to get better in that sense?
Well, what we've seen is leadership. Our seniors have really stepped up and done a great job leading by example. They're every day working hard. Again, being a great teammate, trying to pick those up that get down a little bit, and not focusing on anything negative, just focusing on what's at hand right now, moving forward. And again, these guys that are back, they understand that this year has to be different. We're heading into our 4th year. We're changing the culture. We're changing the mentality of our entire program. And this year we have to make a statement. We have to go out and have a winning record, be more competitive in the league, especially with those top dogs, and make our statement. That again, as a staff, we said this has to be our year.
Coach, if I asked a player that graduated from your program what they took away from being a Mineral Ridge Ram, or what they took away from being under you and your coaching staff, what would you hope their answer would be for that?
That he coached me hard every day because he cared about me. I do it. They know when we step on that field, I'm a different person than I am in our coach's office or in our locker room. But especially Mark Bunch, if you grabbed our quarterback and asked him anything about me, he says he coached me every day very, very hard. But it was because he cared about me. And he always wanted me to be my best, not only on the football field, but in life.
In talking about that, Coach, who kind of helped mold and shape you as a coach? What's some, advice or some coaches that you would watch and you kind of modeled yourself after?
I can tell you I had numerous closed-door conversations with Phil Anarella, as well as phone calls with Tom McDaniel. I'd say those two guys really helped me and helped guide me with some major decisions in coaching and philosophies and how to carry yourself. In the city of Youngstown, Pete Limber was a big part of it, a quiet kind of role model and mentor. And, those guys have always been there. And, at our coaching community in the area, you can name any coach that's around, because I think any one of them you could sit down with and really talk philosophies and talk how they approach the game. And you could be mentored by anybody. I'll tell you, Randy Clark over at Brookfield, just sitting and talking with him, you see a different person and you kind of take something away from it. So, Chet Allen's on my staff. He was a head coach at Liberty for years, and being able to hang out with him and seeing some things he did that were successful and trying to pull some of those things, it's also, that way. Nick Wagner's on staff. He was a head coach at Champion. He did things there. It's just everybody, really. I want to say a hodgepodge of our coaches. We have a really strong, close-knit group of guys that at any time I think you could reach out and be mentored by any one of them. It don't matter. I don't even think it matters how long they've been in a game. People do things different, but they do it really good.
In the same line of questioning, when you were back trying to decide if you wanted to go into coaching or not, or trying to make that decision, what were some things that drew you to the coaching job and drew you to want to be a coach at this level and want to be a coach for football?
just watching these young men work. I mean, it's like being in education. Why do you go in education? You want to be around and you want to help young kids. You want to help mentor them. You want to show them that there's a way to be success because, a lot of student athletes right nowadays, they don't really know it. I mean, when we're coming through these last 3 years, there's not a whole lot of positive out there. And I think that's one thing that I always hang my hat on is I find a way to relate to our young men, my students in the classroom, and show them that there's always a positive. When you turn on the news, there's a lot of negative, but you have to find a positive in your life and you have to find it and just stay the course and you can be successful.
Coach, and looking at that too, and I mean, for this upcoming season, we obviously are going to wish you the best of luck, but I also want to get into your staff a little bit as well, because we know the head coaches can't do it themselves. You mentioned your staff a little bit, but I want to give you the chance to put that spotlight on them and shout out the other big names in this program.
I tell you what, I got a great coaching staff, just not on the football field, but in our coach's office. Very loyal, and that was my number one thing. When you go through kind of a turnover in staff, you got to have loyalty. DJ Williamson, track star, football star from Warren Harding, has been with me now in our 4th year. Loyal, great job, DB, wide receiver. I mentioned Coach Wagner. He's our special teams coordinator. Chet's running the defense. Michael Calderon has been with me for years, whether it was in Niles or here at Ridge. He's like a master of all of it. He does everything for me. O-line, D-line, running backs, wherever I need them, linebackers. And then we have new guys, Rob Riley, who helps us tremendously in the weight room and anywhere I need him on the field. TJ Kanowski, same thing. A couple new guys that came on helping out with the D-line. And Michael Gordon, a young up-and-coming coach. This is a guy I think that if he hangs around long enough and stays in education, he's going to realize this is a pretty good gig. You can go to work and you can teach young people all day long, and then you show up at football and then you get to coach them a little bit longer. So it's a great field to get into. And, I love it. And hopefully he enjoys being around us and feeds off some of us veterans and, turns it into a career for him.
All right. Got to talk about this background, because I think you have one of the best backdrops we've had from a coach's interview. Obviously you're a big Michael Jordan fan.
Yeah. These people that try to tell me he's not the GOAT, I don't understand.
Did you fall in love with Michael from an early age, and how much of an influence did he have in this sports career and your philosophy in sports?
Well, I don't know if I can take anything from Michael Jordan just because he's so great, and to model after maybe just work ethic. I followed him at North Carolina. I knew his background and I knew his story, and I followed him all the way through, no matter what, whether it was the mistake of trying baseball or coming back and winning championships. His ESPN story through COVID really helped get it through, because it was something to look forward to and really watch him and the way he approached the game. And I just don't know if today's day and age does it like him. You know what I mean? He played in an age of defense, and I don't know. I'm so biased, but again, his work ethic and the way he showed up every day to compete, that it's kind of what we try to tell our guys: show up with effort and compete each and every day. But again, I don't think there's anyone that competes like he did.
Coach, we think that Middle Ridge is going to compete very hard this year. We are excited to cover them all season. Thank you so much for your time to come in and give us a good preview of the football team and what to expect. We look forward, like I said, to covering them all year, and we look forward to having you on again as the season goes on.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.